You're this perp back with another video, and I finally got around to watching the first episode for the final season of Wentworth. Man, this series has been through some ups and downs as far as just with stories and just different characters, new characters that we've seen, and I'm really pleased with this first episode. I think this is a really strong start to what is going to lead to a really sad finale, man. I think Wentworth overall is going to end in a very sad but satisfying way. But before I get to this review of this first episode, hit that like button, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at perp420. With that being said, let's get right into it. I'm just going to get right into it. Man, I've been saying since last season when we got introduced to Lou and Reb that Reb needs to go, because Lou and Reb, that whole storyline, I understand what they're going for. It's just, it was the weakest part of last season, and it seems like they're starting to really crack down and just go all out in this season. I expect a lot of people to die, and we're going to get into Lou and Reb, but I want to start where the last season left off, with Allie getting stabbed by Judy. We didn't know at the time if Allie survived. They quickly tell us, like, yeah, she survived, and, you know, it's been a couple of days, I guess, or something like that, and she's coming back to Wentworth, but at a cost. And it's really sad, to be honest. And Judy is just kind of panicking because she feels like that Allie would pick up on that it was her that did it. So she tries to pretty much start some shit randomly with Lou. That leads her to kind of get away from Allie when she pops back up. But that's dope that she is still alive, but it's sad what happens to her, because she comes back in a wheelchair and pretty much lets everybody know that she's going to be stuck in that wheelchair for life. She can't walk ever again. And I'm like, wow, man, that's sad. And I feel like Judy just needs to go, probably in a few episodes. So there's a moment where Judy and Allie have a moment together, and Judy thinks like, oh shit, she knows, but no, it's she doesn't know. She thinks it's Lou. Everybody's kind of thinking it's Lou at this point, that she might have something to do with her getting stabbed. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out, how that's going to be resolved. With that going on, you have Ferguson. Man, I cannot wait to see Ferguson just go off. She's starting to remember. She's starting to have these urges whenever she's around Jackson or Jake or even Vera. And Vera's still kind of like paranoid. She just is still kind of skeptical about the way she's been acting. Even tells Dr. Miller at one point in this episode that for weeks she's been pretty much lying to him about remembering who she is, which is really dope. And I'm wondering how that's also going to play out, because I'm hoping that they just let the freak loose and she just goes off. But she might kind of try to play it smart. I don't know. That's going to be interesting. But Dr. Miller does give Ferguson some pills off the record to kind of help with the urges, because she really wants to just let loose. You could just feel it. They even showed in the beginning of this episode where she has thoughts of killing Jackson right there in the middle of the yard, which was really crazy. Let's go back to Lou and Reb real quick, and Sheila, because Sheila was a new character that was kind of shown to us, or just introduced to us at like the last couple episodes of the last season. So Sheila it's not looking good for Sheila. You know, she's got pretty much 9 bodies on her, and for all we know, she could be innocent, but she uses Lou and Reb to kind of save her ass, but they don't tell them anything. They weren't lining up with her story or nothing like that. So she pretty much has those 9 bodies on her, and she's pretty much going to be serving life, and that's going to do things to people, and she wants to get back. She wants her revenge. At first, she really doesn't think about it, but the one person that plants the seed is still one of my favorite characters of Wentworth, is Marie. Marie is also kind of looking at the situation, trying to figure out what happened. She wants to get Lou and Lou out of the picture, and she uses Sheila to kind of do that, but it kind of backfires because she really likes Reb and wants the best for him. But what ends up happening is, as Marie is starting to talk to Sheila about like getting back at Lou and trying to like just form an alliance, throughout this whole episode you kind of see Sheila trying to kind of latch on to different groups and stuff, but nobody really fucks with her besides Marie. So what ends up happening is Sheila gets her hands on some drugs to kind of knock them out so she could do what she needs to do. And here Marie is thinking that, okay, she's gonna take out Lou. No. They had Lou and Reb have this moment, you know, they have their little sex scene, whatever, and they end up sleeping. But where you come find out that instead of Lou dying, it's actually Reb. And I called this, I felt like you needed to have Reb die sooner than later, because it was only holding back Lou's character. Because you see how crazy Lou can get. She doesn't care about anybody besides Reb. So it's going to be crazy, because now with Reb gone, Lou is going to be a loose cannon throughout Wentworth. Also, you got to deal with Ferguson being on the edge of just wanting to kill Jackson and Vera and Jake. There's a lot of tension building throughout this whole entire season. I don't know what they're going to do with Allie's character and how they're going to deal with the Judy situation, but I just liked everything that was shown in this episode. And we also get another kind of side plot with Rita and her going to see her father, and that was really sad too as well. That was a sad moment because he's kind of at his last moments. Don't know when that's gonna happen. Rita's kind of still on the run. I feel like she's gonna end up coming back to Wentworth. Yeah, a lot was going on, a lot to build up to. Hopefully it all kind of wraps up really well. I think it's gonna be a really satisfying ending, because Wentworth really isn't a show to kind of hold any punches. You know, they're not afraid to kill off certain characters. Man, let me know how you guys feel about this in the comments below. How do you feel about Allie stepping down as top dog and Boomer taking that place as top dog? That's a lot of pressure for Boomer, but I think she can handle it. We're gonna see what happens with Lou, if she's gonna test that. I think she's just gonna turn up next episode. What's gonna happen with Judy? What's y'all thoughts on Judy? How do y'all feel about Allie? You know, I definitely think she deserves some revenge, and it should be Judy. But we're gonna have to wait and see how this all plays out. Let me know your thoughts about this episode in the comments below. Like I said, till next time, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.